This is Pranav Thakurta from Edu TV, the first education channel dedicated to uplift education in Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and Africa. We have a very important person with us, a luminary, Professor Pant, known for artificial intelligence and quantum. He's a PhD in computational physics along with a professional law degree, has been a practitioner in the field of law, IT-enabled education and IT implementation. Drawing upon his experience in world-class international institutions and having taught in various modes of face-to-face distance learning and technology-enhanced training, Professor, he believes in the maxim that convergence between various media and technologies would fundamentally alter the way learning would be created, packaged, and delivered to learners. His current activities are all directed towards actual implementation of these new age educational initiatives. Professor Pant has been the Pro Vice Chancellor at Indira Gandhi National Open University and on the faculty at IIT Kanpur, the premier engineering institution in India. MLNR Engineering College and on the faculty and visiting professor at University of Western Ontario, Canada. He has been a visiting scientist to research centers in Italy, England, Germany, and Sweden, and has delivered international lectures with about 80 published papers to his credit. With his interest in law, back to practicing of law in a high court, and his basic training in science and IT, Professor Pant has been particularly interested in the cyber law, patent, and trademark issues, intellectual property rights issues, etc., and has been involved with many activities, conferences on law and IT. This was a brief profile. It's pretty long. Sir, pranam and welcome. Sir,
Ashirwad.
Thank you, sir. Pranam. Sir, why should philosophy be taught to children while at school?
So, Pranav, this is a very interesting thought process. And I will begin by talking about the current technologies that we are talking of. We are talking AI, we are talking quantum. And for those of you who are interested, I think on the 4th of October, the Nobel Prize in Physics was announced for 2022. It is on quantum entanglement. And people say this is the second quantum revolution. And we will see a lot more on quantum information, quantum internet, quantum cryptography, quantum thermometer, all kinds of things coming up. So this is an age of technology. And why, when I was start thinking in terms of young people, obviously they must be exposed to all these things. And I am a great proponent of all these steps that have been taken to encourage young children to learn AI, coding, data science, all that. But what you find is that in the absence of what is the purpose of life and what should we be doing, they become a bit lost. So knowledge, in a sense, is about what is, what could be, and what should be. Now, actually, what is and what could be are answered by technology. What is the technology, what you would do it, etc. But what should be is answered by philosophy. And that is why philosophy is very, very important. I want to emphasize, you must have heard this times immemorial that, Macaulay education made Indians into clerks and so on and so forth. The new technology-based education without a firm foundation in philosophy will make us techno-coolies. You may be better than clerks, but then you are techno-coolies. Is techno-coolies far superior to being clerks? I'm not very sure. And this is why we want them to be full-fledged human beings, taking leadership roles, taking responsible roles, shaping the new world as it is to be. Then they have to have the element of philosophy in it. And I am not saying this for the first time. Actually, the IB program is a very popular program. You have sometimes interviewed principals who are part of the IB curriculum. One of the key features of IB is a paper called Theory of Knowledge, which is another way of saying epistemology. Epistemology is a field of philosophy. And this is what I want to draw your attention to. No board in India, including CBSE, new education policy, etc., talks about anything of getting people to understand how knowledge is organized, what does it mean to have knowledge, and how knowledge should be used. And therefore, it is not only epistemology, but ethics, truth. See, in the CBSE, they have a topic on AI called AI and ethics. Ethics is not only for AI. Ethics is for your day-to-day living. All children must know about ethics. They must be exposed to ethics and so on and so forth. Not only those who are making AI systems. AI makes it more important, more challenging, etc. is very good. But everybody in their day-to-day life must know of ethics, of truth, of equality, of respect for people, and so on, which comes from. So as I said, when we want to say what should be, it becomes very important to look at philosophy. There are many things. There are missions worldwide about philosophy for children. There's a going on. What I am trying to do is to create a philosophy where there's equal emphasis on the Indian philosophical tradition. When you look at all the discussion on West philosophy, including IB and so on and so forth, they will talk about Aristotle, Socrates, etc. They will even maybe talk of Nietzsche and others and so on, but they won't talk of the Indian philosophical tradition. So I am building into my programs a fundamental pillar of the Indian philosophical tradition also, in terms of the general tradition that we have. We have the Astic and the Nastic, and we have various things that people should know about it. We have a very important Buddhist philosophical tradition, a very important Jain philosophical tradition, and we have Radhakrishnan, after whom teachers they name, who was the bridge between Eastern and Western philosophical tradition. So knowing only about data science and AI and coding and algorithms is not enough. We also need to know about our own traditions, the Western traditions, and very importantly, and this is part of the what is the importance of philosophy in the age of machine learning and artificial intelligence? So these are topics to which young students must be introduced and made aware of even while they are at school. So that was my basic idea, and I'm working towards this, developing a whole set of programs. As you know, my first program will be offered on WhatsApp to everybody, and then they will be taken over even for children at the school level. Finally, I will probably take some time, but make it at the, the new 4 stages that have been talked about in the NEP. At each of those stages, there will be an exposure to philosophy, world philosophy, with emphasis on Indian philosophy. That's what my idea is. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Professor Pant, for giving us time, explaining us always. And recently, one of our speakers spoke about, he said, Professor Pant's teaching is very contagious. So I'm thankful to you, sir, always helping us. And thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, so I hope this is also, I hope learning philosophy will also become contagious.
Yes, I'm sure. When Professor Pant has spoken about it, it will become contagious. Thank you, sir.